cover them, they don't go for it first time. I was lying in the flood. There we go. I'm at Avon Springs Fishery with the proprietor, Barry Borden. Morning, Barry.
Morning.
You've got a beautiful looking setup here.
Yes, it's very nice actually. It's come to fruition after many years.
Yeah, I gather from talking to you a little bit earlier that this was basically an overgrown field when you decided to take it on as a fishery.
Well, it's basically a meadow, and I bought the first piece of land with this stretch of river on my left here, because my wife took up fishing, and then the next plot of land came up and they said did I want to buy that, which was right on the river as well, so I bought that. So in all I bought 5 plots of land, which then consolidated into 21 acres of land. We turned round and decided that we'd probably dig some lakes and put some fish in and do a bit of spot of fishing. The only thing is, over the years, it expanded so much that it just got a little bit too much for me, and I had to turn around and bring my son into the business to help run it all, which he now does.
So what started as a hobby for your wife ended up as a thriving business.
It has, yes.
And the river itself, was it always as gorgeous as it is now?
Well, it used to be maintained at one time at the opposite bank by Frank Sawyer. You've probably heard of Frank Sawyer, the keeper of the stream, as he was known. And the river itself was kept quite good, but there was a lot of rubbish in it. So we hand-raked the whole of with a colleague of mine, Mike Rees. We hand-raked the whole of the river down by hand and filled a lorry up with all the scrap metal, pots, pans, everything. Bicycle wheels, frames.
No shopping trolleys.
No shopping trolleys in those years ago.
Right. So you mentioned Frank Sawyer and I believe Oliver Kite as well?
Oliver Kite, yes. He used to live opposite Frank Sawyer in the next village up of Netheravon.
And this was a stretch of river that he kept and would have fished?
Well, Frank Sawyer, in actual fact, looked after all of the services dry fly fishing, which is, I think, in actual fact, is somewhere around about 10 miles, 8 to 10 miles of river. Some double bank and some single.
So what length of river do you have here at the moment?
We have just under a mile.
And that's the amount you raked out?
Yes.
A mile of water?
Yes.
My God, I wouldn't like the idea of doing that myself. But now the weed growth that's come back here, you've got ranunculus.
Yes.
How did you manage with your ongoing works?
Well, we just keep on top of it. It's a reoccurring job all the time, keeping it up together. It soon sort of goes back to nature with all the river and banks and everything if you don't maintain it properly.
Mm. What sort of stocking levels do you have? Is it regular stocking or?
We stock the river twice a year,
mm-hmm.
and we buy the brown trout, which is the original brown trout, from the Services Dry Fly Fishing Association, because they rear actually the original Avon browns. And nice. To try and keep the same species in the river, we buy from them, and they stock as well as us.
When walking up the bank just now, I could see a shoal of small graylings. So you've obviously got a healthy population of grayling in there. And just ahead of them was, well, I think it was a torpedo. It must have been a 4-pound at least brown. So you do have some big browns in that stretch of water as well.
Oh, there is some big browns in there, yes.
So you would recommend that I don't go too light?
No. I think in actual fact, if you turn around and have something like about 3.5 pound leader on it, it should be fine.
That'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll take your advice on that. Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to go and get set up now and take advantage of this beautiful bit of water you've created.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you, Barry. Well, here I am, Avon Springs stretch of the Hampshire Avon. A stretch of the Avon that's steeped in folklore as far as fly fishing is concerned. This is where Frank Sawyer was keeper of the stream and wrote his book, Keeper of the Stream. he developed pheasant-tail nymph to fish this stretch of water, and fished it with his neighbour Oliver Kite, two very famous names. Pinch me, I'm dreaming. I've always wanted to fish a river like this. This is my first time here. I've had a little walk up. I haven't seen any trout rise yet, but it's still a bit early. But I've seen some grayling. So I'm going to have a little peep, see if I can see any fish lying before I actually start fishing, and just take in some of the ambience of this. Hopefully the spirits of Frank and Oliver will help me make a decision on what to use today. Well, as I've been walking along the river, I haven't really seen any fish rise yet. Probably because it's still fairly early in the day. So what I'm opting for is a slightly different outfit. I wanted to fish the dries, but that could come later. I've got an 8'3" rod for a 5-weight line, a 5-weight floating line, and my favourite little loop reel. This is the very, very light one with no clutch, no gearing, no mechanisms. It's very free running. I've got a tapered leader on here as well. It's about 7.5 foot, but I've taken 2 foot off the end of it. The reason I did that is I wanted some fluorocarbon rather than copolymer. A lot of you are aware that copolymer line actually floats, and I want this nymph to get down. Consequently, I've chopped it off and I've put a couple of feet of 3 pounds fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon sinks, so it's going to help to get my nymph down. And the nymph I've decided to go for, in deference to Mr. Sawyer, is a little pheasant tail. You would probably have recognised it, not as good as his, I would dare say, but there is something different about this one. On the head, there's a tungsten bead, and that will allow the fly to get down into the current more. So I can search the depth and find out what depth these fish are at. So I'll just pop that back in the keeper, and I'm going to walk on up and find some fish. There's a really prolific growth of ranunculus throughout this river. And the trout, some of them be lying out in the flow there, but they can't really spot them. But I have seen a clear patch on the edge of the river just up here, gravelly bottom. There could well be something hanging around there, but I don't want to get too close and spook them. So I'm going to just give myself a bit of cover around these bushes, stay low, and try and flick a line up into that bit of current on the near bank. The nymph comes down. Oh, that must have been the grayling. That was so quick. A bit heavy on the water that time. Didn't even turn. No. Oh, that wind. Right in my face again. Right, that's had a chance to get down. There we go. I managed to flick it up a little bit farther that time, give the fly a chance to actually get down. Couldn't see the fish move because of the ripple and the way the light was penetrating. So I watched the end of the line, just saw it twitch off slightly to one side. I think this one might have had a bit of damage from something. Come on. Oh my goodness, he was. There we go. In it comes. There. I think something's had a go at him. Oh yes, bit of damage there. Don't know what's caused that. But a lovely conditioned fish. Been in the river for a while. Let's get this. Yeah, he wanted that one. I think I have to say thank you to Frank for this, for designing the nymph, even though he didn't have tungsten for his. What a little beauty. The colours are all there. Yeah. Right, we're popping back now and see him swim off. Oh! That didn't take much persuading, did it? There he is, lying down in the current. Well, that's it. My first Hampshire Avon trout. I think Frank would be proud of me. Right, let's get my gear together and then wander up and see if I can improve on that. And look for his big brother, uncle, mother, sister, whatever. All right, Time to wander on. I've just seen a fish move down in the middle there. Can't see what he's rising to yet, so I think a little general pattern would be a nice option to go for. Just have a little play for him. So I think I might go for an Adams. Probably wonder why I'm always wearing dark glasses. These are actually prescription sunglasses and well worth going for. If you need glasses, don't go bothering with these little clip-ons and things like that. They rattle around in the wind, they get scratched, they're uncomfortable. Turn it off real close. That's tiny. This trout's better eyesight than me. There we are. We're looking for fish. When we see one, then we can have a cast at it. It's much more satisfying than sort of blind fishing that you tend to do on the reservoirs, where you don't actually see fish, so you just chuck out a line and retrieve it and just hope that you're going to find one. Well, I changed to the dry just now because I saw a couple of fish rise, but really there's not anything coming up at the moment, so I'm going to nip this one off and go back to the pheasant tail nymph. The fish are down. I mean, that one I just spotted, he was only a few inches off the bottom. His head was down slightly. He's not really looking up for things that are going past, and he did totally ignore it, so I'll pop that one back in the box and get out my another little tungsten headed pheasant tail. There we go. I wonder what Frank Sawyer would have made of tungsten. He used copper and all sorts to get his flies down. I'll say this fluorocarbon is so fine and clear. That's better. I've got some shadow I can look into now. There. Little tungsten pheasant tail again. Let's keep an eye close on the bank and we'll wander on up. Yeah, the water up here, a lot less weed. So any fish are going to be easier to spot. There's something over the far side there, many small grayling. And so there will be slightly less invertebrate life here. So I think later, when the insects start hatching, we'll be better off a bit farther down where there was more of an unculus. But in the meantime, oh, there's a little grayling. You can see the bubble rise. But that is a small one. But it'll give me something to do for a while. Maybe have a little cast at them in a moment. Don't think that one liked tungsten. Saw it go by and just swam off in a frenzy. You can see a few odd rises over there. You see a little splashy rise with a bubble in it, and that bubble shows me that it's grayling. When they rise, because their mouths are on the bottom, I think it must be, they actually just put a little bubble in the air on the surface of the water. That's got down to them now, but no. Oh well. Let's keep on looking. It's good to explore this place. You know, we've got a mile of bank. There's loads to go yet. So no rises yet. We need that sun to get on the water a bit. Oh, there go all the grayling shooting off downstream. They spotted me. Wow, they've got a mixture here of trout and grayling. Just in that little bit of weed there. Oh, that fish is dropping back in the current now. I can see him. Right. There we are, just a little grayling. Much smaller than the last one. And that's what's making these little splashy rises on the surface. Got very slack water on the inside here. A nice little grayling, probably around about 12 ounces. Get the net ready a moment. Nice to have a bit of fun while we're waiting for the trout to start. Where's that line? Oh, they do make a mess when they get in the net sometimes. Right in the scissors, an easy catch. There. Well, another little green. Dorsal fin not quite as big because it's a bit immature. There we are. Okay, let's pop her back in. Get some air over. Mouth's going. Gill's going. She'll probably drop back with the current. They do give things, they do give a fight, and they, you know, you really got to give them time to recover. Oh, look at her. Come on, give me a little kick, darling. That's it. There. In the water, how beautiful. And there she goes. Lovely. Oh, well, getting a little bit of fun here. Having a little bit of fun here now with the grayling. They are starting to rise. So there may well be an opportunity to put the dry on again soon. And try for the grayling while I'm waiting for the trout to appear. Oh, I've put my wet net on my back. I do love these folding nets. You just carry them over your back. The only trouble is, it's giving me a bit of a damp backside. But I can suffer that. I can suffer that from my sport. Because I was born to fish, even with a wet bum. I think that might have been a bit of bottom there. No, there we go. That little mend gave a chance for the nymph to get down and the grayling to take it. It's lovely to see them in that clear water. I'll net that because I can't get into the water. There we go. I don't want to kneel on that sheep pat. Oh, this little beauty rolled on the line a few times. There we go. Now I've got the hook out. I'm going to put this one back. I think I'll put it back in the net. Let's go and find some more. It's like Christmas, isn't it? All your presents coming at once. Well, it's a little bit late for mayfly, but I've just seen one. I've seen one flying off, and then one was on the water and this trout came right out and just took it. Got to change, you know, got to give it a go, haven't you? Try with the mayfly. If the fish is still holding off in that area, pop the fly over him a few times, see if we can get any interest. So off comes the nymph, and this is what we've been waiting for, a dry fly moment. And I'm going to be a bit spoilt for choice as to which one I put on. I've got a few mayfly here. I couldn't see well enough what colour the mayfly was he took, but the one that I saw flying was quite a creamy colour. So I'm going for this semi-emerger here. That's going to float well. Put a little, it's got col de canard for the front wing. You see this grey piece here, and that's the feather that comes out of the preen gland on a duck. So it's got a lot of natural grease in it. So even if the fly gets a bit saturated, that should help to keep it up a little bit. So, through there. This one should be a bit big for the grayling to have a play with, so hopefully any rises will be just trout. That trout has gone back under the ranunculus. Only about 5 foot out, so I'm going to have to try and cast over the reeds, stay disguised, and hope I don't spook him with the line. Can't see it at the moment, but we know roughly where it was. So let's get this line out. Look at that. You'd think somebody was throwing in trout pellets. Honestly, I'm not loose feeding maggots quietly or anything like that. It's just, they're just going crazy for something. Oh, it's floating down beautifully. Ooh, the grayling had a little look at it. Don't want that. He's come, he's looked, he's turned. No, he's got it. He's got it, and he's taken off like a train. Not a big fish, but he's gone down into the weed, and with this 3-pound line, that isn't good. He's scared out a whole passel more. I'll ease off a little bit to try and bring him round. There we go. Tricky when you can't see where he's going. I'll go back downstream with him. There we are. Oh, what lovely conditioned fish. Look at this. It's a beauty. Come on, let's get that mayfly out. Right in the scissors. She was never going to get off. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wants to get back to the water without my assistance. There we go. Trot that out of the way. Lovely little brown. Virtually a wild fish. I said it's stocked twice a year here. These fish, they're wary, they're crafty. I fooled it. Oh, I feel like a bit of a hero. I really do. This is fantastic. Let's put it back. I don't want to take a brown trout home, not from here. Let's let the stock levels rise. In it goes. In the net, because I can't get in the water. All I've got to do is get them up straight, which I'll do in a second. Just turn them over. There, hold it there. And there. Down it sinks. Just getting its breath back. Serious bonus. I want some more. Right. If they're rising like that, I think I shall stick the dries on, stick with them for a while. Marvellous, absolutely marvellous. Well, why haven't I come here before? Well, that's me done for the day. Over that way, there are some very ominous looking clouds, and I'm carrying a lightning conductor. I think it's time to call it a day. But what a cracking time I've had. I've been on a chalk stream. It's always been a dream to come up somewhere like this, fish in the footsteps of Frank Sawyer. Lots of free rising fish, all the way up and down. I've had fish, mainly grayling admittedly, on little size 20s, pheasant tails. I've even had brown trout on the mayfly, which is always a bonus. 2 of those, that was great. So if you want to try it, if you want to follow in Frank's footsteps, if you go to www.fishingfly.co.uk, you will be assured of a warm welcome here at Avon Springs. Now, I'm born to fish, not born to be drowned by rain.